Teri closes her eyes and begins thanking and worshiping God for all the things that she really appreciates. Grabbing hold of little Christopher before he is able to examine the protected socket, she smiles and squeezes him. She cannot thank God enough for her own personal bundle of joy. Mindful of her mobile and very curious companion, she heads to the bathroom to change his diaper, quickly brushing her teeth and washing her face, while simultaneously wiping the baby off and putting lotion on him. Teri is fully focused on her daily routine. Christopher, on the other hand, is doing his normal routine of getting into everything, including playing with the bathroom sink. Picking up little Christopher, Teri walks downstairs to the kitchen. Her internal auto mode kicks in as she starts breakfast and begins the intricate balance of her day. Food, feed, eat, clean, dress, prepare lunches, snacks, diaper bag, daycare, work. All the while trying to keep her little determined partner from damaging the balance from working. Glancing at the time, Teri quickly scoops up Christopher and dashes out to the car. On the drive to the daycare, Teri's mind begins to wander on all her hopes and dreams she had for her life before everything became so complicated. Trying not to let her thoughts meditate on the obvious big picture of her becoming a divorced single mom, Teri has to let out a desperate groan. Things aren't supposed to be this way, she automatically says. Immediately, her feelings regarding the impending divorce consume her. Teri and her husband knew each other for years before they had become romantically involved. They had divorced their cheating spouses around the same time, and neither of them had any kids. They helped each other get through the rough times, so when he asked her to marry him, Teri knew that she could trust him. She believed that the pain that she had experienced in her first marriage would permanently be in the past. Well, that unraveled assumption has been proven to be completely untrue, Teri thinks to herself. The consistent pain she now feels from her husband's flirting is an extremely sensitive wound. It is now apparent that they were married far too soon after their divorces. This realization frustrates Teri. Obviously, he still wants to be a single man, but with the comforts of having a standby wife. How can he, a so-called man of God, be worse than the man she was married to before, who does not even believe in God? Everything within Teri begins to ache when she hears the whimpering of little Christopher pulling her out of her own thoughts. He has dropped his toy and is straining to reach it. After dropping Christopher off at the daycare and quickly kissing him goodbye, Teri is finally on her way to work. She has worked for the same company for over 5 years and has worked her way up to lead supervisor. Teri loves her job, but since she was forced back to work after maternity leave, her appreciation and admiration for her job are slowly diminishing. Her husband promised that he would take care of the bills, but soon became overwhelmed, and Teri's dream of being a stay-at-home mom was quickly revoked. As a call center representative supervisor, or even now in her new lead coordinator role, Teri does not just do her job. She consistently goes above and beyond. Being an overachiever, she always does far more than is required of her, making the transition of her promotion as a lead supervisor effortless, because she has always doing more than expected. Helping people is a knack that Teri possesses. It is easy for her to keep the balance between happy customers and the bottom line well adjusted. Now, on the rare occasions when Teri does speak to disgruntled customers, it is because a supervisor has sent the irate customer over for an extra discount. In the final minutes of her drive to work, Teri begins mentally examining her tasks for the day. She can already feel her body's response, knowing that what she will be doing will be unproductive busy work. That is, until she remembers the manager's meeting. She was invited to her first manager's meeting last week. Immediately, her pulse races as she tries to analyze how can she make a difference or at least provide valuable input. Pulling into the parking lot, her adrenaline begins to flow as she can see the day's occurrences mentally unfolding in her mind. By the time she opens the entrance door, she is on full speed ahead, which is a good thing, because a new representative meets her at the door with tears, complaining about a rude customer she has received. Like the last few months, this morning is the same. Long meetings, short meetings, meetings to discuss prior meetings, agendas, politicking, watching your back, and trying to keep your job while rumors of layoffs are all looming in the air. Teri used to enjoy coming to work, but now it seems a whirlwind of deceit, lies, and the mentality of doing whatever it takes to keep your job, which means that you can enjoy coffee with someone after one meeting and end up fighting against them to keep your idea, department, or position safe by the next meeting. By the time lunch rolls around, Teri remembers that she still has not had the opportunity to check her phone messages. She sits down at her computer and reads the note that is posted on her screen. Please come quick. I need your help. Teri. At first glance, it appears this note is in her own handwriting, which redirects Teri's mind off the 20 other tasks that are still roaming around in her head. With a confused look on her face, she takes the note off of her monitor and reads it with a more focused examination. Oh, this is from Tina in Section B, she says aloud in relief as she murmurs. God, I thought I was going crazy. Teri takes a deep breath as the feeling subsides into her gut, making her feel anxious, all the while pronouncing her hunger pangs even further. Closing her eyes and letting out a sigh, Teri makes a last-minute decision. Not wanting to be there anymore, she grabs her packed lunch, purse, and heads out the door when another supervisor who is calling and chasing after Teri stops her. Teri, can you believe that the monthly manager meeting is being moved to the main boardroom? Kathy says out of breath. I heard that the president is actually going to attend, and all the layoff rumors are going to be discussed. Kathy has been at the company prior to when the original owners attempted to sell the first time. She has held several positions and has had offers to move up within the company, but she enjoys the secure comfort and extreme knowledge of her position. Kathy's title allows her to provide in-house consulting advice and direction in all important meetings without the accountability. Since the company was sold a few years ago, everyone, including Kathy, is intent on keeping their positions. However, Kathy feels for the first time like a fish out of water, since her prior knowledge is no longer reverenced as the best way of doing business. The more her expertise is questioned by new management, the harder she tries to prove historical facts, and the once laid-back executive has become more aggressive and argumentative. Why does it matter if the meeting room is changed? Teri asks, not really caring to know the answer as she turns and begins walking towards her car again. Kathy grabs Teri's shoulder, turning around and lowly shrieks, Didn't you hear me? I said the president is coming. Kathy shakes her head as she continues. Not just our president, but the president of our parent company. He is bringing the chief financial officer with him. Stuttering because she's talking so fast, she keeps her hand on Teri's arm. Don't you get what this means? If the CEO is coming, that means that the rumors are true. He is going to see where they can reorganize and cut back to make sure we hit their bottom line. Kathy's voice is getting louder and near hysterics. Teri looks around to make sure that no one else is witnessing the meltdown by this normally calm and reserved executive. Trying to help her gain her composure back, Teri says, Why don't you come with me to lunch? I'm buying. Kathy abruptly takes her hand off Teri with disbelief in her eyes. Why doesn't anyone understand me anymore? Kathy puts her head down and mutters, This is the beginning of the end. As she turns around to walk away, she states, You shouldn't be going to lunch. You need to be working overtime. You should be saving your money, not offering to buy anyone anything. Watching in amazement as Kathy re-enters the building, Teri looks back around the parking lot as certain key words that Kathy has spoken continue to play back over and over again in her mind. Everything is changing, and not necessarily for the better. Rigid, Teri looks at the company's front doors as they close behind Kathy. Unsure how to process what is happening, she slowly looks at the car keys she is holding. Teri debates within herself. Normally, Teri would have run back in following Kathy's lead, but this is all getting to be too much. Unsure of what her next move should be, Teri reaches into her purse for her cell phone. Who can I call? She says aloud to herself, still standing in the parking lot. Normally, she would have called her husband. Not being able to talk to the one you swore to depend on for the rest of your life makes her present separation from her husband even more real and heartbreaking. Teri wants to speak to someone who is going to be supportive, shaking her head as she passes his name in her phone and quickly scrolls through the various names that are saved. Everyone seems a blur. No one stands out as a possibility. With the breakdown of her marriage, Teri has become very reclusive over the last couple of months, not wanting or even willing to talk or tell anyone anything. She is dreading the "why did this happen?" question that she knows she will be asked, especially since Teri is still so unsure herself. She does not want to try to explain it to anyone else. Truthfully, Teri does not want to answer any questions regarding her relationship, failures, lost hopes and dreams, or anything that deals with the negatives in her current life. All she wants right now is someone to lean on and help build her back up again.
That concludes section 2. However, you can still write, journal in the Make This Interactive Experience Your Space. Some topics you can choose from is single with the comforts of a standby spouse, or who builds me up, or work, calls, emails, texts, who can I call and tell what I'm doing right now, or what to do when you don't know what to do.